What if every fart you let out could reduce your lifespan by 2 years? That's right, just imagine the existential crisis that would follow every little gas escape. The moment you feel that familiar rumble in your stomach, you'd start thinking, is this the one? Would this be the fart that finally does you in? Now, before we dive into the hilarity and horror of such a scenario, let's think about the sheer practical impact on our lives. Right off the bat, people would start holding in farts like never before. You'd be walking down the street, holding your breath, your stomach doing flips, and your face turning slightly pale as you desperately try to keep that little gas bomb locked inside. It's like the world's worst game of Russian roulette, except it's happening every time you eat beans, drink soda, or even inhale too much of the wrong air. Forget about those awkward moments when you accidentally let one slip in an elevator. Now, those moments come with the grim reality that your time on Earth is slowly ticking away with every single toot. You'd probably start seeing new social dynamics emerge. Friends wouldn't just be helping you get through awkward situations. They'd be warning you of the dangerous fart territory. Hey, you've been holding that one in for a while. Are you sure it's worth the 2 years? Maybe people would even start creating fart-free zones. You'd walk into a room and there'd be a sign on the door, "No farts allowed. Enter at your own risk." You'd have to sign waivers just to hang out with friends, promising not to let anything slip. And forget about public transport. Trains, buses, and airplanes would be chaos. No one would feel comfortable letting one loose, so we'd all be walking around with bloated bellies, visibly uncomfortable, but determined to stay alive just a little bit longer. That's the real kicker in this scenario. Every fart, every minor slip, and the clock starts ticking faster. Suddenly, those little moments of passing gas become life or death decisions. People would start keeping track, counting their farts like they were tallying their days. Oh man, I hit my 500th fart today. That's 4 years off my life. Guess I'm not making it to my next birthday. But let's think about the psychological effects. The stress. You'd be constantly worried about your digestive system, avoiding the foods that trigger gas, and even thinking about what you eat could become a full-on existential puzzle. How much risk is worth taking? I love Mexican food, but that burrito? That could cost me 4 years of life. Is it worth it? You'd end up second-guessing every meal, every snack, every cup of coffee. There'd be a nationwide trend of anti-gas diets, designed to make sure you could eat without cutting your time on Earth short. There'd be supplements and pills designed to prevent the Great Escape. Your entire daily schedule might revolve around what you ate the day before, planning when and where you'd be able to let things out without too much danger to your life expectancy. People would even invent gas tracking apps. There'd be an app that monitored your digestion in real time, reminding you to track each meal and its potential fart consequences. Warning, your lunch of baked beans and Brussels sprouts could cost you up to 4 years. Proceed with caution. Of course, no one would want to admit it when they're getting dangerously close to their fart limit. You could be at the end of your life, sitting with your friends, and you've already accounted for all the farts, and then, the dreaded last fart slips out. No. I was so close. People might even go to extreme measures. Fart filtering underwear, wearable fart capture devices, maybe even nasal masks to filter the air for people with particularly dangerous gas. It'd be a high-tech world of gas prevention. Scientists and engineers would be working overtime on revolutionary ways to eliminate gas production in the body altogether. They'd develop pills to shut down your intestines' ability to release gas, replacing your natural process with synthetic methods. But would that be enough to save you from the ultimate fate? Even in this fart-filled dystopia, people would start making deals. I'll give you a fart pass for 3 years if you do me a favor. You'd start seeing underground fart clubs where people could pay to release gas in private spaces, essentially buying back their life in return for a moment of relief. What about relationships? Oh man, imagine the drama. Romantic partners would suddenly have to decide, how long do I want to be with this person? Because that innocent little fart? That could cost me 2 years of my precious time. You might find yourself sitting at a dinner, looking into the eyes of your partner, thinking, is this worth it? And would people even risk having children? Kids, as adorable as they are, have no filter. There's no way to know how many farts your little one might let slip in a single day. Parents might start weighing the cost of having kids. Do we want to have another child? Sure, they're cute, but what about the farts? Is the life expectancy worth it? It would be a society obsessed with maximizing life but terrified of every gas-related misstep. You'd hear about radical groups that live in denial, refusing to let the threat of farts ruin their lives. They'd be the freethinkers, saying things like, "You can't live in fear of your own body. Fart like you've got nothing to lose." But for the majority of us, we'd be walking around, deeply aware that every little rumble could shorten our time in this world. And maybe that's the scariest part. The paranoia. The constant fear of every minor inconvenience becoming a ticking clock. Would you even be able to live freely, knowing each fart might rob you of a few precious moments? So, what do you think? Could you live in a world where every fart costs you 2 years of your life? How would you change your habits? What would you be willing to give up to stay gas-free? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to What If Factory, where every thought experiment is full of unexpected twists.